Alright, so today we're going to share or divide an amount into a ratio. I sometimes refer to this as atom. I've kind of changed over the years and call this ADAM, and you'll see why I call it ADAM instead of atom, even though atom is easy to remember. So we can share or divide by finding the total parts and then dividing out our amount and then multiplying back in. So the whole thing can be summed up into little steps, so about 3 steps. So the acronym is we add the numbers in the ratio to find our total number of parts. And we've done this before, right, when we were working with writing ratios to fractions. Then we have to divide the amount. So you'll be given this in the question. So it could be divide 50 pounds in a ratio of 1 to 3 kind of thing, right? So we divide by total parts. So what we find when we add all the parts in the ratio together by the number given in the question, so our value. And then after, we multiply back into our original ratio. So that way we can tell which each section of the ratio, how much it's worth in real value kind of numbers. So if we're looking at example 1, we're dividing 60 pounds in the ratio of 5 to 7. So step 1, why I like these SDAM and ADAM acronyms that we're going to work with over the next couple videos is as such. So add the numbers in the ratio. So this means 5 plus 7 equals 12. And this is our total number of parts. Keeping in sign, guys, this is a number sign and not a hashtag. Then step 2, divide the amount by our total parts. So our total amount, which is 60, you don't have to include your units till the end, and divide by the total parts of 12. So that is 5. So that means it's 5 pounds per part. Right? It's like when you go to the grocery store and they say this is how much per 100 grams, or this is how much the price per kilo. So step 3, we're going to multiply the amount by whichever part we want in our ratio. Well, this one we just say divide it into the ratio, so you have to multiply it into each part. So we have to multiply our 5 times 5 and 5 times 7. So let's do that, and we'll find out what our real values end up being. So here we do 5 pounds times 5. And then we're doing 5 pounds times by 7. So here we get 25 pounds to 35 pounds. And notice, if you add 25 and 35, we get our original 60 pounds that we were asked to divide. So we know we've done it right. Next example, we want to what happens if we share, right? So sharing is just another way of saying dividing. Right, so 42 sweets, and this time I'm just going to jump into this. So our total amount of parts we add together is 3 plus 4. We have 7. 42 divided by 7 is simply 6 sweets, and that's per part. Okay. Then we want to multiply back into our ratio. So we multiply back in. So 3 times by 6 sweets. And then we have 4 times by 6 sweets. This gives us 18 sweets to 24 sweets. So we can add those together. If we add them together, 18 plus 4 is 22. 22 and 20 is 42. Okay, so Moving on to our next one, find the largest share when £100 or $100 is divided in the ratio 4 to 5 to 6 to 5. So, a little bit bigger number for our total parts, but it doesn't matter. So total parts equals, and add together all the parts of our ratio. It doesn't matter how many parts we have, we're just still going to find it the same way. So you get this 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 numbers in a ratio, it doesn't matter. And so that's 20 parts total. So, right, this is our add step. Add, so divide is our next step, right? So 100 divided by 20 equals 5. Our units was dollars, so dollars per part. So lastly, multiply. And here, it's asking us a little bit different. So here, look what it's asking. It's asking us to find the largest share. Well, the largest share is the biggest value in our ratio, which is the 6. So we're doing 6 times by $5 equals $30. Okay. Right. So here's 3 practice questions for you to try out. Pause the video. When you're ready, press play, and then we'll go through the answers. Okay, so we're dividing $40 in the ratio 3 to 5. So that means that we're doing 40 and dividing by those parts when we add them together. 40 divided by 8, which is 5. Now if we multiply back into our ratio, 3 times by 5 is 15, and 5 times by 5 is 25. And putting in our units can be helpful. Doesn't matter. Shannon and Michelle share 27 chicken nuggets in the ratio 2 to 7. So our total parts are 9. How many chicken nuggets does Michelle devour? So we got to figure out, well, how many per part, which is 3 per part. So if Michelle gets 7 parts, right? Michelle gets 21 nuggets, or 21 nugs. So I'll just leave them there. Question 3. Rowan and Jay divide 70 pounds between them so that Rowan receives 45 and Jay receives 25. Rowan says they share the money in a ratio 9 to 6. Jay says they share the ratio in 9 to 5. Who is correct and why? So, 2 parts to this question. Who is correct? That'll come out at the end. The why is our work. So, if you just went and took a guess and said, no, Rowan's right, completely wrong. If you said Rowan's right and Rowan was actually wrong, but you had all the supporting work, you could still pick up partial marks. But make sure that you show some work. So, easiest way to figure out who's right is let's do 70 and let's try one of the cases. So let's try, well, I'm going to do the easiest thing. Let's try Rowan's because 9 and 6 is 15. Right? So let's do 70 divided by 15. So if we do 70 divided by 15, what are we going to get? We'll get 4.6 repeating. That's 4.6 parts, right? So that doesn't seem very right. Well, let's try the other one. Let's do, how about 70 divided by 14? Right, because that's the addition of Jay's parts. So she gets out to 5, right? So right there, you could use that as some reasoning. If you wanted to do another way, you could say, you could show this as 45 to 25, and then simply simplify. So there's lots of different ways to come about this. So here we could divide by 9, or sorry, not 9, divide by 5. and divide by 5. And we'll get 9, 2, 5. So therefore, J is correct.